Welcome, everyone. Today we have a really nice program. We have Gijs Könings from the embassy in Berlin, who's going to give us an introduction. First, after that, Svenja Grauel, who knows more about North Rhine-Westphalia especially. And we end with the recent winner of the Circulair Awards, Timmy de Vos. Gijs, let's start with you.
Thank you. I'll share my screen. I hope it works. Yeah. Can everybody see my presentation? Yeah. Then I'll press play. Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. And thank you for the opportunity to tell a bit more about circular economy in Germany. I work for the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management at the embassy here in Berlin. Actually, circular economy is kind of a relatively new topic in Germany compared to the Netherlands. So it's an honor to tell a bit more about that in this presentation. First, I will tell a bit more on the situation of circular economy here, and then I will give some more examples of what we as a diplomatic network do, and also what I here at the embassy have done in the last year in the field of circular textiles. Let's see. Yeah. So it's very important first to know that Germany is a federal state, also meaning that all the rules and regulations in Germany are very regional linked. So it's very hard to speak for one country, as Germany is so divided in that sense. That also goes for environmental policies, like the circular economy, for example. And therefore, there is also, for example, no circular economy hotspot Germany yet. And I hope that Svenja is going to tell us a bit more about possible opportunities in North Rhine-Westphalia. But like a general Germany hotspot, that still seems something for the future. So I hope that we can get there in the near future together with the ministry here in Berlin. The federal ministries here, and then especially the Ministry of Environment, the Umweltministerium BMU, they are the ones actually making the guidelines in Germany for this, all the member states to act within. So that is good to know before we continue. Yeah, in the introduction, it was already mentioned very briefly that there is a deposit on tin cans in the Netherlands as of 2022. But that is something that is very common already in Germany. Germany is also considered to be actually a global champion when it comes to waste management. The boxes that you see here, so all the waste collection boxes, that is a very everyday view in Germany. Also here in Berlin, you have all the Hinterhöfe, as they call it in German, so the backyards of all the apartment buildings, and they're all filled with these boxes, meaning that in Germany, recycling is already part of everyday behavior. In 2018, 76.3% of all the residual waste was actually already recycled, meaning that they're doing a very good job already. And the first Circular Economy Act was also implemented in 1996. So they're already, this is something that they've started a long time ago already. But the thing that is still lacking is an actual circular economy strategy. So the whole holistic view on what a circular economy is, instead of only focusing on the waste management part. But that is something that is also slowly but surely coming. When you look at the national policies here in Germany, they started with their program resource efficiency. That's also what they used to call circular economy for a long time. I became active in this field here in Germany in 2019, and then I saw that there was a transformation going, and now the most policymakers in universities, but about circular economy instead of resource efficiency. So I think that is a good development. This program is a program that is more or less of a guideline. For example, like the implementation program by our ministry in the Netherlands, it's comparable to that. So you have various sectors which have various roadmaps to get to a 100% circular economy in 2050. They don't have that bold goals here in Germany yet. They rather do it step by step instead of talking about an end goal in 2050. But Germany also committed itself to the Circular Economy Action Plan, which was presented by the European Commission last year. So I think that is a good development. Also, Acatec and Systemic was already mentioned in an earlier presentation, started the Circular Economy Initiative Germany, which is a collective of research institutes, businesses, but also governments to work towards a roadmap for circular economy in Germany. So again, I hope that this is a first step in the direction of an actual circular economy strategy in Germany, which I hope will be presented soon. So yeah, there is a growing interest in the field of circular economy, and Freek already mentioned that there is that Holland Circular Hotspot presented a two-pager focusing on 4 specific sectors. So that is textiles, the automotive industry, plastics and chemical recycling, and construction. And that is exactly how we also divided these sectors within our diplomatic network, because we think that the Dutch circular ambitions for a 100% circular economy do not stop at our borders. We're just a very small country, and we really need to cooperate with our most close trading partners. And I think Germany is the biggest trading partner of the Netherlands, and therefore of big importance for our trading. And what we do within our diplomatic network is enhance bilateral cooperation between Germany and the Netherlands in the field of policy, knowledge, and trade possibilities. So that is the triple helix that was mentioned earlier before. And we do that together with colleagues in Düsseldorf and in Munich. They work at the Consulate Generals, and I do that from our embassy here in Berlin. In Berlin, I do the general CE coordination. So all the questions that people from the Netherlands might have regarding circular economy, they end up at me, and then I try to answer them as good as I can. But because it's such a big topic, we also try to divide these things. So I focus more on circular textiles, whereas my colleagues focus on construction and chemical recycling. I will come to that after this. And this year I will also start with a research into the chances for the automotive sector, and then specifically for e-batteries and e-cars, because there seems to be a big opportunity in that market. And also within our embassy, we have an economic department for all your trade questions and even startup acceleration. We have a startup liaison working in our embassy. So we have a big team that could help you in becoming active across the border. Yeah, I mentioned it before. The Consulate Generals in Munich, they work on circular construction. They performed a market study in 2019 together with a research institute by an Innovativ. And my colleague at the Consulate General in Düsseldorf is working on chemical recycling and plastics. And he even organized a web talk last October together with Holland Circular Hotspot on this topic. So that shows that we're quite active in all sectors that are opportune in Germany. Unfortunately, we can't cover all sectors of circular economy, but that's hopefully something that we could do in the future. So how did I address this topic within our embassy? I started a program called All Goods. I did that together with my colleague from the cultural department here in Berlin. And we started a program on innovation in the field of material use, because we thought that material use is a crucial element of the circular economy. And we tried to set up a program which is focused on linking knowledge, but also organizing hybrid sessions, organizing live workshops, and of course, because of the pandemic, also organizing online workshops. For example, the Circular Design Sprint workshop, which was a workshop where we brought together Dutch and German entrepreneurs in the field of circular textiles, which was a good example of public-private partnerships that we did with local actors here in Berlin. We even organized a policy lab talk that evening. So we do not only help circular entrepreneurs, but we also try to connect Dutch and German ministries, in this case, my ministry in The Hague of Infrastructure and Water Management, together with the Ministry of Environment here in Germany, to have an exchange on what we could do in the field of in this case, circular textiles. So yeah, if you want to stay tuned on all the developments that we have in our program, follow page on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions regarding circular economy in Germany or the culture in Germany or whatever touches that topic, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Gijs. It's nice you also already mentioned the two-pager. Actually, our colleague at Holland Circular Hotspot who wrote it, Leah Huybrechts, is also in this room. So also if you have questions on that, you can reach out to her. Is there already someone who has a question to Gijs before we move on to Svenja? You can just unmute yourself and shout out. I see no one unmuting yet. maybe it will come up later. So then let's continue to Svenja Grauel.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for having me here today. I tried to share my screen first before I start introducing myself. Okay. Okay. So I hope you can see my presentation now.
We can.
Okay, perfect. But all right. You already see the end of it. Sorry. It's mine. Sorry. So, yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Svenja Grauel. I work at a research project at the University of Applied Sciences in Germany in North Rhine-Westphalia, in a city called Bottrop. I don't think many of you know this city. It's a smaller city, but very industrial focused city. But right now I'm here in Essen in my home office. And I got in touch with the circular economy hotspot and with Rick in 2019 via the Circulair hotspot in Belgium. And I'm happy to present now what we do in NRW so far. I am an engineer and I started to work on circular economy also in 2019 because I found out about this project, Postbakulik. I will provide to you some information in a second. But I want to start with North Rhine-Westphalia. I guess many of you know it. It's also a very close country in Germany to the Netherlands, and it is the biggest dense country in Germany. We have a population of about 79 million inhabitants. We do have the most dense area of universities, of research institutes, not only in Germany, but also I think globally. And we have about 68 different universities here. So we have a high focus on different research areas. We are a region of industrial market. Mainly our industry is, we have a lot of mechanical engineering, chemical industry, and we have a lot of historical industry on coal and steel. We do also have a high amount of startups coming from this region, which is linked to the high amount of universities. So every fifth German startup is from North Rhine-Westphalia. And now you see it's very dense and very diverse also, this country. And it's, Gijs also mentioned, it is not that we have one institution in Germany that provides information about circular economy. The way it works is different, and I want to talk to you a little bit about it. So how do we transform towards a circular economy? First, I want to give an example about the project I work in. This is the project Postbakulik. It's a project that was initiated by the Ministry of Economics in North Rhine-Westphalia, and we do have the goal to do research on how the circular economy or how smaller companies can transform towards circular economy. We do this very practically together with companies. And it is nice to see that in NRW, I think it started early that also not only the Ministry of Environment was interested in circular economy, but also the Ministry of Economics, which is quite important in order to make it a successful concept in Germany and for companies. So within our project, we focus on the question, how does the idea of circular economy make its way into the heads of people who are responsible within the economy? And how can they then change the design of products, processes, and business models and networks? It is a very broad focus with broad on different sectors. So academic approach, but we have a focus on the region in the Ruhr area, Emscher-Lippe, and then North Rhine-Westphalia. We do then also, we wanted to start combining what we already have in North Rhine-Westphalia. And what we do have, I already showed you, is a high amount of researchers. So we can say that the academic world in Germany and North Rhine-Westphalia was ahead, definitely with circular economy, and right now we do see many people interested in CE from academic view. Within Postbakulik, we had the tasked to connect all the actors in research. And what we did is we built a research network. And Ladeya also mentioned before that it's very important to have networks combining also with the public sector. So here we see that we built together a network of about 130 researchers in different areas, but all with somehow linked to circular economy. And we meet and try to find our way, build programs or projects, initiate projects in order to release some gaps in research areas. And we do have monthly programs, this virtual webinars so far, focusing on different areas, which is quite successful. And we also see interest from not only researchers, but also companies who are interested in research. This is taken place actually right now at the same time in our network, focusing on repair today. And what else we do? So I think we can say in North Rhine-Westphalia, we have more of a bottom-up approach because we don't have the government and the institution about. But we do have the goal to create a combined strategy, maybe a hotspot, circular economy, Germany or North Rhine-Westphalia soon. In order to do that, in North Rhine-Westphalia, the Ministries of Economics and the Ministry of Environment have the strategy, and they built a roundtable for circular economy a couple of years ago. And this roundtable, I just placed here all the institutions or the institutes who are taking place in this. And these are all the players for circular economy. There are much more in North Rhine-Westphalia, but these are the ones who really have the target to bring forward circular economy in North Rhine-Westphalia. But also cross-border, like for example, the Kompetenznetzwerk Umweltwirtschaft also has the goal to act on a European level. And we do have many people and many competencies which are older, and we can transform towards circular economy. Like, for example, Gijs already mentioned, we have a big experience in efficiency. Resource efficiency, like the efficiency agency, is a good partner for that. And now we try to build up on this for circular economy. We do, which is not mentioned here on the list, but all these have a high, a good rate, or are very renowned institutions. We do have in Wuppertal a new approach, and a new approach which is called Circulair Valley. Maybe some of you heard about it. It is targeting startups and want to build some kind of incubator in this region, because we also think it's a good region. We can use our strength in industrial and also our engineering strength and build together up something on circular economy together with digitization, which we think is a very important field. Now, what we want to do next is on our way to some kind of an organization for circular economy. We applied to host the Circular Economy Hotspot, actually 21 in North Rhine-Westphalia. It's postponed to 22 now. And we will have a Circular Economy Hotspot event in 2022 in North Rhine-Westphalia, in Bottrop. You can see a very famous local site, which is built on a, I don't know the English expression, it's built on a coal mountain, like what all they plucked out for the industry earlier. It's a halde. And we want to have some kind of circular festival next year where we bring together all the experts from, like you, from all the other countries, have our challenges from here, but also other countries, but definitely also our strengths from industrial market and digitalization. And there we will build hybrid. And we thought it's a long time from Barcelona, which was planned for last year, which will take now place this year, to Bottrop, NRW in 2022. And we want to do something in between. So together with other hotspots in Europe, but initialized by the Kompetenznetzwerk Umweltwirtschaft, KNUF in short, we want to do a roadshow for circular economy, focusing on good examples for SMEs and to broadcast them to other employers around around Europe. So we will kick this off in April this year, and then we will have a regular event, online event, where we show videos from other companies with good practice examples. If you or anyone want to take place in this, we're happy also to involve more examples, and we hope this is a chance to get some kind of network between companies and help them also to exchange on good ideas. I think there was a question earlier in the main discussion chat, how can we exchange? This could maybe be a helpful network that we want to build up. Yes, this is all I have, and I'm happy to discuss about questions or ideas. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Svenja. It's really interesting to hear that you're more on the bottom-up side, and I think it's also for the participants here, it's a good opportunity to maybe become part of the roadshow or to connect when they're in the same industries. And also it's a good follow-up on Gijs's story, which is more on the policy side, and which is more his specialty. So I think it's key for all of us to combine those different paths we take and to work together to become more circular.
And maybe can add is that we all have these initiatives on circular economy in Germany, but we do see now that it funnels towards a strategy for the whole country, and that politics see it's very important. So I'm very happy or looking forward to the roadmap that will be brought up soon by the Circular Economy Initiative and all what comes next. I do believe it will be a part of our future here.
Yeah, thank you. Are there already any questions for Svenja, or maybe now for Gijs? No, then let's continue. The next one, it's really nice. Timmy de Vos, he just won the Circulair Award earlier this week. And he also went to Germany and collaborated with Gijs. So you know each other well. Timmy.
Indeed. Thank you for the introduction. I hope you can all see my slides now.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to share a little bit about who I am, what we do, and how we made our way to Germany through the RVO trajectory. So I'm the founder and CEO of the e-waste race. The e-waste race is a school project, which, can you see it skipping as well?
Yeah, no, and we still see it like in a smaller way. So you should put it on full screen so we don't see the side slides.
All right. Do you see full screen now?
Better, yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So we have launched a concept where 10 primary schools compete against each other to learn about circular economy, about resource scarcity, how to consume less, repair stuff, and recycle. 10 schools in a region compete against each other to collect as much electronic waste as possible to bring it back into the loop, basically. And this is a scalable concept which you can do in a lot of different regions. I'll show you in a bit how it's been scaling in the Netherlands, and at a certain point we've been growing so hard in the Netherlands that we wanted to make the step to Germany, which is obviously a big country with a lot of scaling potential. So we provide guest lectures where we learn about where we teach children about all aspects of the circular economy, from how we have to be but all that if we have stuff that is broken, how we can repair it, or where we can recycle it. But we also make it a competition. We build a website where people can offer their old electronic devices. So if you have a broken device at home, you can go to our website, you can offer your old electronics, and the kids pick it up from your home. So it makes it a lot easier for you to get rid of your broken devices. The kids get points with it. And this way, it's a fun and easy way to get rid of electronics and bring them back in the loop to be reused or recycled. In order to have as much impact as possible, the kids engage in campaigns. So they actually try to involve as many people as possible, which starts at the parents. After they had our guest lecture, they go to their parents to tell them to have a look in their drawers or the attic, whether they still have devices laying around, but also everybody in the city and the neighborhood. And they do so by approaching newspapers, approaching radio channels. Well, the idea is to make as big an impact as possible because that makes you win the race. The website also keeps track of the score of how many devices you've collected, and if you're the winner in the end, you win a cool school trip. Well, in the Netherlands, we've been scaling quite gradually. By now, we have 108 municipalities in the Netherlands, which is almost a third of the Netherlands participating in these projects. It's always 10 schools regionally competing against each other. And we've collected over 1.5 million devices over the past years. We have great reach, a lot of people, and we have had research from the TU in Eindhoven showing that it actually has an impact on awareness and recycling behavior. On average, one race is 4 weeks, 10 schools. We collect 14,000 kilograms of electronic waste, which is equal to a CO2 reduction of 20 tons. So as you can see, we've been quite busy and made quite an impact if it comes to e-waste yet. And we have 2 trajectories of scaling. One is doing the same thing for textiles. So we've launched the textile race. It's been postponed for a bit due to the Corona situation, but now we launched textile, and that's already a very big success. And we started in Germany. And we've been connected to Gijs, and Gijs actually made a very valuable introduction to us, which is a franchise partner. Our concept of scaling is through franchise partners that are actually locally based and can do the school acquisition themselves and also provide the guest lectures, because our team obviously doesn't have the German language as well as a local partner could have it. So we've been put in contact with a company called Hochschule. They provide education materials for teachers, and they do so all over Germany, but also in Switzerland and Austria. And they have partnered with us to scale the e-waste race there, and we're doing quite well. Even though also there the Corona situation has been postponing a few races. We had the city of Hamburg as a launching customer. But even though this first contact has been made, we're still in touch with Gijs, and he still helps us to reach out to our potential clients, because the schools themselves don't pay to participate in these projects. We usually approach local governments or waste collectors locally first that sponsor the race, and after we got the sponsorship in place, then we start approaching schools so they can participate for free. And this trajectory, we're actually still very much in touch with Gijs in this case, who helps introduce me and our partner Hochschule to local governments in Berlin, in Munich, which obviously helps us to scale and get our projects running throughout Germany. We're great for still receiving this support, and even though we still have to see some first results from the first races, because schools are still closed, which makes it a bit difficult at the moment, but we're expecting to scale quite rapidly in Germany. So that's from my end a practical example of how the RVO trajectory can help you go to Germany.
Yeah, thank you, Timmy. Are there any other countries you're going next after Germany?
Yeah, actually, I also saw the French colleagues, Leontine Schrijf, and I'm also talking to her other colleague. So we're exploring the opportunities there, and besides that, we're looking into the UK.
Okay, well, it's going well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There must be other entrepreneurs who want to know how Timmy did it or want to go to Germany, have some questions. For everyone.
Well, I have a question. What about Belgium? It's close by, Timmy.
Very good question. Actually, Belgium was my first go-to country, and I've tried to go to Germany first. However, the situation there was a bit more difficult due to two reasons. One, they have legislation in place limiting the kind of project I do, which says that you can only do collection projects for 2 weeks in a row, which I, in first instance, thought shouldn't necessarily be a big problem. But then we go to the second issue. In Belgium, you have one monopoly in place, which is in control of all e-waste collection. And basically, you have to have a collaboration with them in order to be able to execute your projects in Belgium. And they actually thought the first issue was a issue because then we don't have exactly the same concept as we have in the Netherlands, which might limit the amount of e-waste we collect, which is an important factor for them. And that caused us not to be able to launch in Belgium, unfortunately.
Well, it's a pity. Maybe time will learn for them. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I hope.
Timmy, also a question, and congrats on the progress in Germany. Indeed, Recupel can be bastards. I agree. Just to understand, so your expansion was largely also from your own need. You know, you're growing fast in the Netherlands, and you saw opportunities in Germany. Were there also opportunities that you saw, for example, or actually more demand, perhaps, that you saw within schools? So that you were not so much delivering on your own needs, but more the demand for your customers, so to say. And if so, how did you find out that schools were interested in this topic?
Yeah, thanks, Joost, for the question. Definitely, if we look at the scaling in the Netherlands, getting schools on board is the least of our problems. They are very much willing to participate. To give you a little idea of how it goes in the Netherlands, if you have a municipality, we usually say that if you have a municipality where there are 40 schools, we can get 10 to participate easily. So that's a 1 in 4 hit rate, already showing the demand of schools willing to do projects related to circular economy. This is becoming a growing topic. Obviously, there are schools that are more focused on it than others, but you definitely see sustainability topics rising in interest in schools.
Great, thanks. And you had the idea that it would be the same in Germany?
Yeah, obviously that is an assumption, but I'm assuming I'm making a good assumption. For Hamburg, it's actually shown to be the case because in Hamburg it's shown really to.
It wasn't so much that you were already reaching out to schools yet. You just took a bit of a gamble there, perhaps.
Yeah, true.
Great. All right, thanks.
I have a question, Timmy. apart from the legislation issues, maybe different governmental stuff and setup that was different in Germany, did you experience cultural differences so that you had to change your concept or adopt your concept?
Also a very good question. I am still in very close contact almost on a weekly basis with our German partners. And they go about things quite thoroughly, which is a very good thing because actually they're already fine-tuning some of the things we are doing. Also, what I really like about the partnership that we have, they found their own approach of reaching out to potential customers. So I've been used to approach local governments, municipalities, and that was a very well-working trajectory for me. But actually in Germany, you see that they started approaching big recyclers. So if you talk about North Rhine-Westphalia, they've got Arubis on board, which is a big recycler based in North Rhine-Westphalia. And now we have this kind of sponsorship all of a sudden, where in the Netherlands, I've never really looked into this kind of sponsorships. And I think that's also very much due to the thoroughness of our German partner looking into new solutions. They have approached the UBA, the Umweltbundesamt, to actually get support from a national level, which helps them in showing national support to the local governments that they are going to approach. Yeah, so that's what I'm noticing. They go about things thoroughly, while I might have gone more with the flow in the Netherlands, but also that worked for me. So yeah.
Thanks.
You see that quite often in Germany, with German-Dutch partnerships. It is a very good complementary combination, so to say. That a lot of Dutch entrepreneurs have great visions, great innovations, and in Germany they're very good at engineering and being very thoroughly and precise. And I think that is always a golden combination when you see the two working together. So I think the e-waste race is a good example of that. But it's indeed a typical cultural thing.
All right, we have like 1.5 minutes left, so we have room for a final question. Some last words. No questions anymore.
Well, I have maybe the last question. How much e-waste did you collect until now, since you started, Timmy?
In the Netherlands or in Germany, you mean?
Yeah, maybe altogether.
Altogether, yeah, you see a very steep rise because we've collected almost 2 million devices. So that's also about 2 million kilos. But since we're growing quite rapidly, it's 2 million kilos in 6 years. But now we collect over 500,000 per year. So yeah, it's growing very fast.
Yeah, is also data collected. So what you can see, maybe when you see how old it is, you can also use those numbers for a lifetime or to extend lifetime. That you have like big data on it.
Yeah, we don't have any numbers on how old devices are that are being collected. So the volumes collected are huge. Huh? If you see that in only 10 schools, we collect on average 14 tons of e-waste. That's a lot of electronic devices going through the school. So we can't handle them one by one. But we do divide them into categories. So we do know how many mobile phones, how many laptops, how many other small devices, how many cables. We do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you all. Leah just shared the 2-pager in the chat about Germany. So do take a look at it. All the presentations will be shared as well. Thank you a lot for your presentations and your interest. Let us know if you have any more questions about Germany.
Thank you.
Thank you.